When we feel most threatened, it's our survival self that rushes to our defense reactively, impulsively, haphazardly, and often counterproductively. This is a quote from Tony Schwartz and Emily Pines in a recent article, Coping with Fatigue, Fear, and Panic During a Crisis. Schwartz and Pines discuss the impacts as a result of the COVID-19 virus, also known as coronavirus pandemic. I'm Brad Hollingsworth, a Master Black Belt, here to help you clarify the problem. We shouldn't react impulsively because the automatic processing in our brain doesn't perform well under these new circumstances. Imagine the McDonald's team member hands you a cup of coffee. Your brain knows to handle it carefully because you can associate it with being hot. Most people remember the famous lawsuit where a customer sued McDonald's for not warning her she could be burned by it. When the normal system or process shifts due to situations such as a crisis or the emergence of a disruptive technology, there's a lack of patterns or associations for your brain to recognize. Remember how easy it was to travel before 9/11? The desire to find patterns and associations limit our ability to innovate and solve problems. In their article, The Most Underrated Skill in Management, Nelson P. Repenning, Don Kiefer, and Todd Astor share that conscious effort is necessary to apply a logical approach to problem solving. Defining the problem is inherent in the name of the first phase of Lean Six Sigma, define. During this phase, the team writes a problem statement and records it on a project charter for all to see. The problem statement provides clarity for the team to establish consensus. It defines the problem for you to communicate. Create calm for your team. Communicate the problem statement. Now you may ask, how do I write a problem statement? How do I use it to create clarity and establish consensus? Let's discuss some recommendations from the most underrated skill in management, as well as some tips from former colleagues and Lean Six Sigma training. The case study we'll use is from a community collaborative for health planning. The collaborative is formed by several organizations, including a health department, a federally qualified health center, a not-for-profit hospital, and behavioral health providers. There's a common belief among all participants that transportation is a problem. Transportation becomes the center of every conversation for months. Repenning, Kiefer, and Astor outline 5 basic elements of a problem statement. Today, I'll highlight 2 of them. The first element is that the problem statement refers to a core value of the organization and a specific goal. With the collaborative, you begin with a diverse set of values and interests similar to divisions or departments within a single organization. This collaborative found a common interest in the overall health of the community. As you can imagine, health is a very broad topic. Again, one collaborative member might believe transportation to and from grocery stores is the problem. Another might believe access to fitness centers is the issue. Yet another might believe transportation to gainful employment is a health and wellness priority. Further clarification was needed. Each member has scheduled appointments to improve health. There is a belief or feeling that many patients miss these appointments due to transportation. This is a starting point. We've identified a core value, health of community members. There's a common perceived problem about patients missing appointments due to transportation. Overall, the goal is to reduce missed appointments. Be cautious at this step. People are human. People have feelings. Feelings are subjective. Here's a tip. Ask the question, how do we know this is a problem? Notice the purposeful use of the word we. You want to communicate a message that is clear and creates consensus. Another element of a problem statement is that it does not include a diagnosis or solution. It seems obvious when you think about it, but I see this all the time. For example, implement a web-based app to reduce delays. If you already know the answer, then it is a Nike problem. Because if you already know the answer, as they say, just do it. Defining the problem is the beginning of both problem solving and innovation. Use caution when people begin with a diagnosis or the answer. You have to ask yourself, is this an impulsive reaction? Is the root cause actually known? Do clear patterns and associations exist for us to make these conclusions? I advise being assertive with questions when it appears the cause of the problem or solution isn't clear. You need to communicate a clear message. If you already know the cause of the problem or the solution to it, then make that clear to your team. If you've already decided to buy an app, then they need to understand they do not need to solve a problem. Instead, they need to procure or implement the chosen direction. Einstein once said, "The formulation of a problem is often more essential than its solution." Your team needs to understand the problem you want them to solve. Communicate that message clearly through a well-written problem statement. The collaborative wrote, "Patients miss appointments due to lack of transportation. Reduce the number of appointments missed due to lack of transportation from 16% to 8% by September." You may ask, how do I become proficient in writing problem statements? You may want to learn more. The Ohio University Voinovich Academy for Excellence in Public Service offers Lean Six Sigma Yellow Belt and Green Belt courses. Contact myself or Jay Johnson. Remember, the problem statement refers to a core value of the organization and a specific goal. A problem statement does not include a diagnosis or a solution. Ask, do we know is a problem? How do we know is a problem? I am looking forward to helping you clarify the message you communicate to create consensus and empower your teams to solve problems. Charles Kettering once said, "A problem well stated is a problem half solved."